Hey, and welcome to the Drive and Dish podcast. We're here for college basketball picks December the 15th. So let's get into our December the 14th pick. We had a pretty good day, 2-0. Sadly, the UNLV Pepperdine game was canceled. I think that would have made us 3-0, but we'll go with the 2-0 for now, bringing our overall record to 60, 45, and 1. We had Longwood plus the 5 versus Radford. That was a win. We had the Marquette Creighton over 150.5. That was a pretty easy win as they played into the high 80s like we had thought. And the UNLV plus 2.5 versus Pepperdine was canceled. So we get no action on that one. But that's the way the 2020 season is going. So anyway, we'll move on to the picks for December the 15th today. And we're going to start out with Tulsa over Wichita State. Now, Tulsa has not had a great start to the season, 1-2, but we think this team is pretty decent. They've played a tough game versus TCU, only lost by 5, lost to South Carolina in a sort of back and forth game where South Carolina pulled away late, and they just beat UT Arlington by about 15 points. So we think this team is rounding in its shape, and we're very curious to see if they can come out on top today. If they can't win today, I think we'll probably push this team a lot lower than I have them sort of power ranked right now. But Tulsa minus the 1 versus Wichita State. Wichita State has a win versus Oral Roberts and then losses to Missouri and Oklahoma State. So two teams right around the same mark here. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game turns out. Next up, we have Southeast Missouri State plus 4.5 over Evansville. Now, this is the stinkfest game of the day. Two teams that are pretty much ranked in the lower 300s of college basketball. I just think Southeast Missouri State is a little better than people let on. UMKC, they beat them. They beat Lipscomb. They had to go to overtime for the back-to-back Lipscomb game. So they're a pretty solid team and an overtime loss to Southern Illinois. These aren't great teams, but they're okay. Mid-level team. So I just think they're a better team than Evansville. Now, Evansville has not impressed me at all. Losses to Prairie View A&M and Tennessee Martin. They did have a 3-point win versus Eastern Illinois, but I think Southeast Missouri State is better than Eastern Illinois, and we're getting 4.5 points here. So I like Southeast Missouri State today. Just check on that score. I wouldn't advise watching this game. One game I would advise watching is the Louisiana Tech minus 14.5 versus Jackson State. Now, Jackson State is a really bad team, but I think this Louisiana Tech team is a pretty good team. They had a tough loss to Lafayette, which really hurt, but I think they'll bounce back here, and I think we can see a 20-point win here. I'm not one who really likes to take big spreads, but I think Louisiana Tech will blow this game out. So I like that 14.5 point spread. Another low-level game we're playing in the sort of 300 area teams. We like Southern Miss today. Southern Miss getting 5 points versus Lamar. I think Southern Miss is the better team here. So getting 5 points, I really like. Southern Miss has not played great so far this year, an ugly loss to Tulane, but they bounced back and played a little better versus South Alabama, who's a much better team, I think, than Lamar. I just think getting 5 points here, I like this Southern Miss team. Lamar has been no shakes, losses to Houston, Tulane, Lipscomb, and Air Force. And their only win is a 3-point win versus La Monroe. So I just think Southern Miss is a better team here, and getting points I think is pretty good value, even if they are on the road. And last but not least, sort of the underrated game of the day, Furman at Alabama. These are two pretty solid middle-of-the-pack teams. I really like Furman here. I think Furman getting 6.5 points is a tad too many. I think this will be a really tight game. Furman's only loss is a 5-point loss at Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's a better team than Alabama. They've got a nice about 23-point win versus Charleston, and I just think they're a better team. Now, Alabama did have a nice Providence win, but Providence is no shakes. UNLV is not a very good team, and Jacksonville State is not a very good team. They were not competitive in a game versus Stanford, or they weren't really competitive in a game versus Clemson. So I just think Furman's definitely the play here. I really like Furman here. All right, so we'll move to our man. Dynamite David and his picks for today. He's going to go with Kansas State plus the 8 versus Iowa State. He's riding Virginia Tech minus the 2.5 versus Clemson. That should be a really good game. Be sure to watch a little bit of that one. And he's on the other side. He thinks Alabama's going to come out and beat up on Furman. He likes Alabama minus the 6 versus Furman. So those are our picks for college basketball on December the 15th. Be sure to follow all Greenlight Network's podcasts. We have a Football Time podcast coming to you live from Facebook Live in just about 30 minutes from now with Achilles Reign. Dynamite David will be on to sort of do our college football swan song this week. And a new Know It All podcast will be out Friday. As always, our Drive and Dish podcast comes out every day on Facebook Live. Be sure to find all the stuff at greenlightnetwork.org. That's our show, and we're out.